Hey there, fellow golf lovers, and welcome back to another episode of Tee Up with Kira. I'm your host, Miss Kira P. Today we have a fascinating topic for you, so grab your clubs, settle into your favorite chair, and let's tee off into the episode. Welcome to another episode of Tee Up with Kira. I have an amazing guest all the way from across the pond, Tom Kennedy, experienced Ireland golf and travel. How are you today, Tom?
I'm very well, Kira. Now, yeah. Managed to escape from the girls for a few minutes, or little ladies. So, all these podcast invites are good because they might avoid bedtime, which is great. So, that's a good way. It's a good way to start. Good way to start the week, anyway.
Awesome. So, Tom, can you explain to us what Experience Ireland Golf and Travel is all about? How did you get started? Tell us your journey into what you are today.
I suppose. Well, it's a long story, but I'll make it as short as possible. But I suppose Experience Ireland is we're a tour operator based in Killarney, County Kerry, so it's southwest of Ireland. So I suppose it's the home of tourism, as long would be in the home of the current All Ireland champions, Kerry. Even though I'm a Limerick fan, so I'm more of a hurling fan. We're home to the football champions at the moment, but hopefully that'll be the case in a couple of weeks when they play Dublin in the final again. But yeah, so we do, I suppose, tours to Ireland, golf and sightseeing. The golf is, I suppose, a little bit, I suppose, more popular in terms of the percentage and stuff like that. So, I mean, we do everything from your tea times, hotels, your transport. We can help with kind of helicopter transfer, private jets, and stuff like that. Restaurant, bar recommendations, sightseeing, pretty much everything apart from eating your food, playing your golf, and sleeping in your bed. Um, we don't mind eating food, and we'll play your golf if you want. The sleeping in your bed thing is not part of the service. But yeah, so that's kind of what we did. So we're, I suppose, a fairly experienced team at this stage. Not saying that we're old, but we've got some good and varied experience. Mine dates back to starting in a Dare Manor in 1996 as a 15-year-old caddy, and has gone through various places since, including the Old Head, Doonbeg, the Heritage, which is Sevy's course in Ireland, his only course in Ireland. Took me to Mount Juliet, the Nicholas course there, to West Africa, to Ghana, for about a year and a half, and then back to Ireland, where I definitely belong. So, and kind of from 2016, then Experience Ireland was formed. So we're going nearly 7 years now. Kind of towards the end of this year, will be 7 years going. So going well. There was a couple of dodgy years there recently, but we kind of, like a lot of our colleagues in the industry, I suppose, we kind of rode the storm, and I suppose we've come out the other end. And I think Ireland has done a great job in terms of what we've got to look forward to now in the next couple of years. We've got the Open at Royal Portrush, back at Royal Portrush in 2025. The Walker Cup was announced at the Hinch Golf Club for 2026, and then the Ryder Cup in 2027, which will be the centenary Ryder Cup in Adare Manor. So, that, as far as golf tournaments go, that's a pretty good run, in terms of what's coming down the line. So obviously, I think there's a few I've forgotten as well. I think Ballyliffin is hosting the Amateur Championship, and Portmarnock is hosting the Women's Amateur, I think, next year. So, yeah. So I mean, it's just, I suppose, a great place to play golf, whether you're playing a championship or whether you're just going on a buddy trip. So I suppose we're blessed with the links courses and the parkland courses, and obviously the hotels and the hospitality and everything else that goes with that.
So, Tom, my next question is, if you had to choose your first tee song, what would it be and why? Your walk-up song, what would it be and why?
Well, I'm a big Liverpool football club supporter, so it would be "You'll Never Walk Alone."
Ooh, I
So
like
that's
that.
why,
I like that.
yeah.
So, for fans that want to learn golf and people that want to learn golf of all ages, what would be some of that advice or tips and tricks that you would give them if they're scared and nervous to try golf?
I suppose it's go to just have fun really. I mean, if you're starting at a young age, I suppose there's lots of kids camps, on in the summers and just like school holidays. I know they are in Ireland. I'm sure they are in the States and other countries as well. Um, but it's just go have fun, and you can worry about the technique later, I suppose. There's been a lot of golfers, especially that have, or a lot of people have taken up golf even since COVID, because it was an acceptable sport because it was outside. And you know if you're left and your playing partner's right, it was good for social distancing, because you're never too close to your playing partners. So there's been a lot of new golfers, and a lot of, let's I suppose, especially in Ireland, there's a lot of golf clubs that they're full for memberships now. So I suppose some nomadic golfers that, let's say, might have just played like society golf and stuff like that, have kind of come back into the fold, which is good. But I mean, in terms of starting the game, I suppose there's no better place than, I suppose, your local pro. Get the basics. But I mean, I started playing. I played pitch and putt before I played golf. I know it might be as prevalent in the States, but it's a great way of starting. I think Arnold Palmer, who designed 3 courses in Ireland, Tralee, K Club, the 2 courses at the K Club, said you should really start from the green and work backward. So that's probably a good starting point, and it definitely helps with the short game down the line anyway, where you can save a few shots. So even with that, and or even starting with a bit of crazy golf, and just get started with putting and stuff. I suppose depends on the age of the person starting the game as well.
I was gonna say I'm the type of person that I don't like practice putting. I practice putting on my off season because then I'm stuck inside. And I practice the driving range during the summertime. That's probably the worst way. But I mean, sometimes just some people just don't want to practice on their short game. So what would be that advice for somebody like me that doesn't want to work on their short game?
That's a good question. I mean, like Sevi used to always say that he liked to practice what he was good at. So obviously he was forever chipping and putting. I suppose his long game that let him down obviously later in his career and stuff like that. But um, it's a tricky one really. I mean, if I had 10 or 15 minutes before starting around, I'd probably spend it on the putting green or the chipping green rather than on the range, um, which is the case more these days when you've three little ladies at home as well. You don't get away. You're not arriving at the course with an hour of free time to go have chat to the guys in the pro shop and leisurely get your tea, a cup of tea, and sit down for 5 minutes and relax, and then go to the range and hit a few balls, and you're down at the first tee like 10 minutes before your tea time. So it's all a bit of a rush now. So it's I suppose what works for it's what look it's what works for people. But I mean, for amateurs, I suppose and especially the kind of the non ultra competitive ones, it's around the greens where you'll pick up or you'll throw away a few shots. So I suppose from that side, that'd be the recommendation. But again, I suppose you got to put the ball in the fairway as well if you can. But if you can be chipping and putting every once out of every 2 holes, your scores will improve, because you can't. I suppose if you're 3 putting every green, you could be on it in 2 and have a great long game, but it's not going to be much fun.
Exactly. So, Tom, for somebody that does traveling and golf, what are some tips and tricks for people that are interested in traveling? I know that there's a lot of amazing courses in Ireland, but what are some of the advice for people from overseas coming to Ireland? Is there a certain way? Are there certain things that you should and shouldn't do? Because I've never been to Ireland, but I'd love to come visit. And so I'm sure a lot of people would love to. So what would those tips and tricks be?
Yeah, I suppose, like as a former caddy, I try to accentuate the positive and say, if you tell your golfer don't hit it left, they're probably going to hit it way right, or hit it left. So we try not to tell anyone not to do something. But I suppose if we try to focus on particular areas of the country that a group wants to visit, so whether it's the southwest or west coast or east or northeast, northwest, whatever it might be, some groups will. We've had groups in the past like they finish playing golf in Lahinch and the next morning they're playing like Royal Portrush or Royal County Down. And they've got like a 6-7 hour drive to the hotel or to the golf club. So it's just kind of been um, listen to your tour app. That's probably the that's probably the biggest tip. Well, look, we've had groups that don't mind the time in the bus, but it's kind of if it's regionalized, you can set up shop like in maybe two locations. You'd be, let's say, if you're in the southwest, you might be in Killarney for 4 or 5 nights. If you're finishing maybe in Adair, the old head, then you've the last 2 nights in Kinsale or Adair. Because if you're moving from hotel to hotel every day, you're forever. You never properly unpack really. I mean, all you're grabbing is like your golf shirt and your slacks or shorts and your wash bag out of your luggage. So you never really properly unpack. So that's the kind of thing to, I suppose. Look, it's your own expectations of the trip as well. But Ireland is. It seems like a very small country, but when you're here and you're trying to get around and things always take a little bit longer if you're especially if you're a bigger group, with a kind of a tour bus. Google Maps doesn't account for that usually, so you're talking like 15-20 minutes extra every time. So in terms of tea times, it's in terms of getting to the course, like 45 minutes to an hour before, depending on the group. I suppose you want to be careful about that, and especially if you're out for a few Guinness or whiskey or craft beer or whatever you're drinking the night before. You want to give yourself a bit of time. So there's not any specific, I suppose, do's and don'ts. I mean, I'd always bring. I know there's a friend of mine coming over from the States in a few days, and he like 20 questions last night. And I mean, I'd always recommend if you're here for a week, like bring 3 or 4 pairs of golf shoes, especially maybe 2 waterproof and 2 quite comfortable ones. Because I mean, most of the golf shoes now are nearly like sneakers, as you say in the States, or trainers. They're nearly like kind of like tennis or running shoes. So around the dunes, it's nice to have. You don't need hiking boots. They're not as bad as that. But hopefully you won't be in there to need them. But to have plenty comfortable golf shoes. Because I'd bring, if I was gone for a week, I'd probably have about 4 pairs myself. So just trying to rotate them if you can. Then and I suppose you don't need to bring, I suppose, too many golf shirts. You can stock up with the lovely logos we have in Ireland. So bring maybe enough for the first couple of days, and then you can stock up on the rest for the week. And we're obviously fairly green here, so there is a reason for that. There's something coming out of the sky. Not all the time. Get quite dry, obviously, especially on the links courses if we have a few weeks of decent weather, which we definitely had in May and early June, but it's been a bit wet since. So do either invest in a set of wet gear when you arrive, or bring your own from home if you have them, depending on obviously where you're from. You might need them. So so that's the thing. And a nice hip flask in the bag for some birdie juice. Then you can fill up in the bar beforehand with some Irish whiskey. So yeah. So look, just things like that. It's not, again, look, it's not rocket science. Like, so, some groups they'll have their pick of courses that they want to play, but it's tricky obviously to get all the bucket list ones in over the course of 10 days. I mean, look, if you want to come for a month, you'll get them all in pretty much. But the best thing about a trip finishing in Ireland is the return journey then, and hopefully seeing some more of the country and seeing different courses. And there's a lot to do obviously outside of the golf itself as well, in the towns and stuff like that, because you do get some groups that cram in a load of golf. They're going from hotel to bus to the first tee, and they're out playing twice a day, and they're living on takeaway dinners nearly in the bus on the way back to the hotel, and they go and sleep and do the whole thing again every day. And you speak to them after, and they can barely remember, one first tee from the other kind of thing. So, um, so it's the kind of things if you holidays are supposed to be relaxing. So if you wouldn't play 36 holes a day at home, don't play it for 7 days running on holiday. Because it is you're not supposed to need a holiday when you get home from a holiday. So although I
Ex-
know
exact,
a lot of us, yeah,
exactly.
a lot of us would burn the candle at five ends if it had five ends. So, for
That's
sure,
me.
such is human nature. But you just want to have those last three drinks there. That'll be fine. We'd be grand.
Exactly.
Um,
So Tom, what are some of your highlights that you can tell us that are highlights in your travel and your golf career? What are some of those highlights that really stick out in your mind?
I mean, mainly it's the kind of people you meet, and very much people I've worked with. I suppose in the industry as well. I'd hate to start, don't want to start dropping names now, but but to have worked, we will start. Like work. I mean, obviously, from the start, like from the start, right from Adair, the whole way through. I mean, we were all, I suppose, we were a lot of us were friends starting working there. Guys called Mark and Adrian Fee, who I know literally since I was about a year old. So, and the infamous Oliver J. Ryan, who Brandel Chambly nicknamed the three shot penalty in Pat Collins's bar in Adair in the late '90s. So people like that. And Brian Shaw, who's the head pro in Dubegs for I think since 2000. Obviously, I suppose the time I spent in Ghana working with Paul McGinley in the RNA, it was very interesting, project, and a lot of, all the various, I suppose, industry colleagues and stuff. And we're doing some cool stuff now in terms of working with various people, and the people that come in on the tours, you've got no idea potentially who they are, and then they arrive in and you go, okay, you're that person. All right, okay, I didn't know that. Like we did the No Lane Up Tour Sauce trip in 2019, which was massive for us. Obviously, all the tours that it created were all cancelled in 2020, but they've come. I think they're eventually all those people have come back, and that was obviously, I suppose, a recent highlight. And then Tom Coyne brought Bill Murray back to Ireland in 20 August 2021. So that was great fun. So I have for some reason I have a 20 English pound note from Bill that I won off him in Druids Glen Golf Resort on the first day of the trip in August 21. So we played a five ball with him and three of his six sons. Um, so that was a bit of fun. So I think myself and Cooper beat him, Jackson and Lincoln, I think, on the day. So Bill paid up with a £20 note for some reason. I don't know why, but maybe he didn't. Maybe he was coming from London, didn't have time to change the money. So So yeah, look, it's hard to choose, but I mean, they'd be a couple of them, and obviously, some of the courses that we get to play. I hadn't played Royal County Down a couple of weeks ago, and I hadn't played it. I hadn't played it since college golf nearly 20 years ago. So it was a lot easier playing it, not overly hungover and in the middle of October, November time versus at the start of July in Ireland with, caddies and, rangefinders and yardage books and all these things. So, yeah, so, things like that. We played Royport Rush there at the end of May, in the old head as well, with Gary Hurley, who we sponsor on tour on the DP World Tour. So there'd be some even this year alone, just getting out and doing some mini tours ourselves, and seeing some of the courses. It's nice to get some, let's call it research and development. That's what I call it.
I was
Anyway,
gonna say, somebody's got to do it. Might as well be you. It's
Hey,
really
look,
rough to
exactly.
go.
I mean, we played Royal Dublin a couple of weeks ago as well with Jeff Fallon, the GM, and they put a load of new bunkers in, so I had to make sure I hit the ball into every single one of those bunkers to see if they were okay for the clients. So, um, as Jeff will probably attest to if he listens to this. But so you gotta make sure that all these changes are acceptable for the clients before we book tea time. So yeah, look,
Exactly.
we've got some cool golf, we've got some cool courses lined up for a little later in the year as well. So hopefully we're um as long as I'm not divorced at that stage for playing all this golf, but it just comes into territory. I think the more golf I play, the better it seems to be for promoting golf in Ireland. So, I'll stick with that. Stick with that thought.
I love it. So, Tom, for fans of golf that have never attended the PGA merchandise show in Orlando because it's closed to the public, what would you tell those fans about what the PGA show merchant or the PGA merchandise show really is about? I mean, explain to the fans what an insider, what happens the first day throughout the whole week.
Yeah, like it's tough to put like a short description on it. I suppose like golf porn in a massive room. I suppose really, with all the brands obviously are there. There's some. I mean, we probably we see more of the Irish at the PGA show than we do of them in Ireland. Between the clubs and and the hotels and some of the tour operators, obviously we all get over. It's nice to get some sun on our backs in January, late January, kind of it splits up the winter a bit at home as well. So it's great, and it's great to meet some friends from the States as well and clients, and obviously the pros from the clubs. We've a lot more kind of club trips now that are coming to Ireland with ourselves as well. So it's nice to meet the pros. Obviously, I mean, PJ pros from all over, mainly all over the States. Obviously, there's a lot of good gang from Canada last year as well this year that we met. Shout out to Matt from Mill Run Golf Club and the full wage people who are well able to drink, as most Canadians are. Um, and weren't apologetic for it at all. So I think we've got an honorary life membership in Howl at the Moon. So if you miss meeting someone at the Orange County Convention Centre during the day, you'll find them in Bahama Breeze or Howl at the Moon probably later on if you need to have an impromptu meeting. But yeah, like it's great. Look, it's great to see the new, I suppose the new gizmos and stuff, and some of the new brands. Which had some really cool people. The guys from a company called Caddy Splash are coming over for our August event. So we met the guys who's got some really just nifty products, kind of thing that you'd like to see in your Christmas stocking as a golfer when Christmas comes around, rather than the shot clicker watch that mom thought would be a good idea, and it never got out of the packaging. Um, things like that. So, and it's you could walk around it for a week, I suppose, and you'd still be finding new stalls and stuff like that. So it's kind of tough to get it all in when you're trying to do your few meetings and your bit of business as well and stuff like that. And there's the obligatory golf or night at Top Golf then during the week as well. So we had I think we had about 50 people that kind of rounded themselves up for the night we were there. So it's just good fun. You'll be it is technically work, but there's a bit of a social element to it as well. Um, make sure you get plenty of sleep. Well, if you're flying, depending on how long your flight back is, get plenty of sleep on the flight back. Because I know we flew up via Boston back to Shannon, so from Orlando. So we had about a 6 hour layover in Boston. So we kind of they say did the dog in it in Ireland. So we decided we go for lunch and then just a few beers because the airport's so close to the edge of the city. So we went into Boston and we did a few touristy things and then a few beers at a sports bar just to round off the work holiday or work as it might be called. Um, so yeah, look, it's just good. It's just a good week. It's a good week for the industry, and you definitely make some new acquaintances kind of every year. So yeah, it's good. It's good fun.
I,
It's nice to be in a different setting with the Irish gang as well.
exactly. I was going to say, no matter what, if you're seasoned in the golf industry or you're it's your first one. You don't realize how quickly it goes and how the plan you have a plan and it goes out the window. And you think you're gonna sleep when you go back to your hotel room, but let's be honest, there's those amazing events after the PGA show that you attend, and then you just realize I did all of that in 4 or 5 days, and you're exhausted. Like you said, you're exhausted. And you just sleep.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, like that's it. I suppose get to sleep before it and after. But yeah, while it's going, you just kind of have to kind of ride the adrenaline wave anyway as best you can.
Exactly, and
I played.
A lot of Tylenol for your feet.
I'll have to do something with my feet next time because I played 5 rounds of golf in 4 days, um, and we arrived on the Sunday. I was playing 36 holes on the Monday, and our flight was an hour late leaving Shannon, and we got the collecting flight, but our clubs didn't. So in a roundabout way, lovely people at JetBlue. I was about to say Blue Star Airlines. There, it's like, oh, is that a Wall Street reference? Um, I forget the quote now. Blue Horseshoe loves Blue Star Airlines or something like that. But so we went into JetBlue. They said, "Oh yeah, we'll drop off your clubs like tomorrow afternoon." This as well. Slight problem, like I'll have 36 holes played by then, and my underpants is in there as well, so I can't do. I have to get both. Um, so it's like this isn't going to work. And other items of clothing, including all my golf shoes and all my other stuff, and gifts I brought for people and things that thanks to TSA guys for not checking my bags. Um, Probably lucky that the clubs didn't make it through first of all, but so yeah, so we went, grabbed the rental car, went to the hotel, went out a few drinks and a bite to eat, and we were like literally watching our air tags as they approached Orlando. So I think the clubs arrived at like 1:30 in the morning. So we got an Uber out to the airport and waited another 45 minutes for the clubs to finally arrive down the baggage reclaim, um, which is a lot easier. It's probably easier in the States. The baggage reclaim is actually in arrivals, but in Ireland, it's not. It's before like you get through, for after you come out of passport control, but before you come into arrivals. So at least you can walk into baggage claim without having to do. I don't know how you do it in Ireland actually. But yeah, so we was about 2:30 by the time we got back to the hotel, and which would have been 7:30 in the morning Irish time. So we'd been up like 25 hours. So like I rang my wife because I knew she'd be up with the girls, and was like, just letting you know, we're not in the pub. We're literally waiting for the luggage. And and then I was up then at 5:30 to go play golf at like 7:10, with one of the managers from one of the PGA stores. And we played golf then at the course to play the father and son, the Ritz
Mhm.
Carlton in the afternoon. And I hit the absolute wall that evening. It was spectacular amount of tiredness. So if you're going to the PGA show, do not play 36 holes on the Monday. I will not be doing that.
And invest in an air tag for your suitcase so you know where it is at all times.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not fun when you're in Boston and your plane is going up the runway and you can see that your bags are not. But it's nice, at least it's nice to know where they are. Um, you know, so so yeah, so that was and but look, we got them and it was fine. But it was a long first day when you're thinking like, look, you go grab a bite to eat, get 5 or 6 hours sleep, and then you're generally okay to play a few holes, especially when it's in carts. But um, when you're on working on like 3 hours sleep in 28 hours, it's probably not the best preparation. 36 holes, especially in the States with carts and halfway hut employees that don't know, that literally, it's literally say when on your Jameson and ginger ale, and it's like that's definitely not That's not a single or a double shot. That's a lot more than that. When there's more alcohol than the mixer, you come to the right place. So shout out to all
Exactly.
the all the all the
You
all the
probably
halfway house
needed it
people.
though.
Well, look, it was a good idea at the time, but yeah, there you go. So it was it was good. It's definitely not that we don't do it much in Ireland. We do a bit of kart golf, but I mean in the States it's a lot more because obviously I suppose there's more walking kind of from green to next tee and stuff like that on the resort courses. But it was great. It was great. It's a great week. You just have to make the most of it because I mean you could sit around on Monday because there's nothing really going on. Obviously over like the demo day doesn't happen till the Tuesday, so it's a good day to get a bit of golf in and get on US
Just don't
time. So
just don't play 36 holes.
and yeah, don't play 36 holes, especially if you want to get 3 hours sleep. So yeah, so I think I'll be finding it. Might do 20, might do 27, might do 27 next time. But yeah, feet were hurting on the Thursday after we finished up. We played the concession on the Tuesday down near I think Brampton, down near Sarasota, and then we played Bay Hill. We remember on the Wednesday, and we played the Country Club Orlando on the Thursday. So um, feet were hurting at that stage now because you don't realize even how much walking you do at the show as well. Because like the Fitbit was like it was like burning rubber. There was smoke coming out of the Fitbit at one stage. With the amount of steps going on. So um, you still manage 10,000 steps even when you're in a cart somehow. Um, not sure how that works, but yeah, it's but there was a lot of business done on and off the course that week. So I think it was a very positive. I suppose the last PGA show I was at was 2020. I know there was a couple of virtual ones, and the one maybe in 22 was quite muted, maybe in terms of the brands there and stuff like that. So I think it was really back with a bang this year. I think everyone was kind of, I suppose, looking forward to it as well. But it was really, I thought it was really well done, and you get the mix of your on course and off course meetings as well. So it was a good combo. If you just didn't have to do all the socializing after, then you might be okay at the end of the week.
I was gonna say people don't really realize that it's when people have told me in the past before I first went that it's really a mile long. I said, yeah, 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 like I'll be fine, I'll be fine. No, you have to like work up to the PGA show. I mean, it's like Christmas. I look forward to that event every year. It's a great way to start off the year, like you said, away from the cold, because most people are coming from where they haven't played outside in months. So I totally agree. So Tom, what are you guys up to in the coming months? In the coming, can you tease us as what's going on with you guys in the next couple of
Yeah, well,
months?
yeah. I suppose obviously we've a lot of tours still coming into the country, so I think our last tour is probably sometime in October. Um, we might get a few sightseeing tours November, December, depending on. They're usually a bit more short notice, but we've got obviously all the tours going on. We've the 10th anniversary tournament for our Links Challenge, which takes place the 24th, 26th of August. So that's at Cairn Golf Links. Uh, Hi to Sean and Jerry and Sarah and Nathan and Eileen and all the other people up there, and it's Rowan as well. So so we've about 100 and maybe 60 golfers taking part in that from all over the world. So it's kind of nice to have our 10th anniversary tournament there, and then we've kind of a smaller kind of corporate event then on at the Old Head Golf Links down in Kinsale and at Ballincollig House as well. It's a private house there, so that's called the Grand Open, and that's in October 20th, 21st. We're obviously looking forward to those two things, and we're I suppose busy planning for 2024 as well. We've got our regular events, the Social Media Open in April, which is in Ballybunion, Tralee, Dingle, and Dukes at the end of April, and then we'll have our Links Challenge again, kind of late August. So it's kind of very cyclical. It kind of never really stops. There's a lot of a lot of stuff going on between the tours in the country. and then you're dealing with inquiries for 2024. Obviously, 25 is very much on people's radar as well with the Open Championship at Royal Rush. So, we're looking into a lot of itineraries around that week as well for people that want to be up the north and want to go to the golf for a couple of days and play the courses around it as well. So, it's kind of non-stop as well. So which is good. Excuse me, we were busy fools for about a year and a half there, from March 2020 onwards. So it's nice to be so busy, and we've got I suppose a small team in comparison to maybe some of the other operators. So just obviously want to make sure that everyone gets the service that they want, and which hopefully they get, at least according to TripAdvisor they do. And we're I suppose forever kind of visit new properties. If that means staying in some nice 5-star hotels, and so be it. I'll be that head on the pillow if need be, or or feet on the golf course. So it's I suppose Irish golf is I suppose very much on the up. Obviously, Rory just won the Scottish Open, and will probably be one of the favourites going into Royal Liverpool now this week. I'd imagine. I suppose Shane has a chance, and you never know what Parry might do as well. And Seamus Power, if he might be an injury doubt, but there's some even on from the pro ranks for doing very well, and obviously the courses in Ireland are extremely busy, and obviously there's a lot to look forward to over the next few years in Ireland. In terms of spectator events and tournaments and stuff. So there's a big attraction, there's a big pull, obviously, to for the experience to the Irish links and the other courses around the country as well.
Awesome. And then last question, Tom, is there anything you like to tell golf travelers, golfers, travelers, people that want to come check out Ireland? Is there anything that you would like to tell those fans, spectators, golf and travel enthusiasts? What would you like to tell them?
Apart from saying experience Ireland with us,
what is that website? What is that website again?
Yeah, eigtravel.ie. Yeah, exactly. We decided to shorten it from experience-ireland-golf-and-travel.com, because we probably have a lot of people who type in that slightly long URL incorrectly from time to time. But yeah, I suppose, look, it's the place to come and play golf, really, and have the crack. I think people come for as much the off the course stuff as on the course. It's we're I suppose, hospitality wise, I don't think there's a country in the world that does it better than us. Whether it's the gift of the gab or just the pure devilment in Irish people. I suppose we just like meeting people and having a chat and stuff like that. So if if that's what you're looking for, Ireland is the country. I think DJ Pyhowski from No Lane Up said, if you can't have fun in Ireland, you're not a very fun person. So prove us right or wrong, whichever you may define. But yeah, look, it's let's say it's the best country in the world, and why wouldn't you want to visit?
Exactly. It's on my bucket list of places that I want to visit, because I've always wanted to go there, and now I have more of a reason. I mean, as long as we've been talking, it's been on my to-do list. Go to Ireland, go to Ireland, go to Ireland. I have a passport that I haven't used yet, so gotta do some traveling soon.
Definitely, yeah. Get a few stamps on that passport. So, and it's a very easy country to get into, especially when you're coming from that side of the pond. So, no big visa requirements or anything like that. So, we're just happy to see you. So, but we'd recommend booking your tea times early, because we're a busy bunch these days. So, plan well in advance. We've a lot of people that think a year in advance is enough, but even 18 months, would we'd recommend it at this stage because the tea sheets fill up so quickly. It's great, but obviously, if you're planning the trip of a lifetime, make sure you give plenty of time, and obviously we can help with the nuts and bolts then at that stage.
Awesome. Well, Tom, it's so amazing to have you on Tee Up with Kira. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking your evening away from your girls or your ladies. And I like everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to Tee Up with Kira. If you have any questions, please reach out to Tom or myself. Tom, thank you so much.
Thanks, Kira. Good teeing it up. Here's the next time.